welcome down the warp pipe. In case you're new, I'm Ty. And if not, good to see you again. Today, I want to talk about the recent announcement that Nintendo is putting Game Boy Color and Game Boy games on the Nintendo Switch online service, supposedly. Now, I'm not going to rumor monger or anything like that. It seems to have some sort of merit to it, but I'm not going to be qualified here enough to tell you whether it's true or not. Really, I want to talk about 3 games that are in my collection which are a bit under the radar compared to the heavy hitters like Pokemon Red and Blue, Link's Awakening, and the Super Mario Land series that I think will be great additions to the Nintendo Switch online service if Nintendo puts the Game Boy and Game Boy Color games on there sometime soon. Up here, we're gonna have a little game that is called Wario Blast. That's a game for the original Game Boy that has a bit of a Game Boy Color / Super Game Boy aesthetic to it when you shove it into the Super Game Boy. But it's essentially Bomberman with Wario as the character you can play, although you can still play as Bomberman. It's a great little fun game to pass the time with, where you basically go through the levels, and as you progress, you get more and more enemies, or in this case, when you're playing Wario, more and more Bombermen to destroy in each match. It actually kind of gets a little out of hand pretty quick, as I forgot how crazy Bomberman games can get, especially when people gang up on you. But it's a great game to pass a couple minutes, maybe in your ride home, or if you want to kill half an hour on a car ride if you happen to be a kid. And I think it'd be a great addition that isn't likely to get put on there, but I think would still be solid. The next one up, if you happen to catch my short from the past Saturday, and if not, definitely check out the shorts that are happening on Saturdays, we're going to be talking about Pokemon Pinball. This is a game that I just took on a whim to a cottage and got re-obsessed with. And although I'm nowhere near as good as I probably was as a kid, it's still a blast to play. And as far as I'm concerned, the fact that it only has the red and blue is a little bit of a letdown, but there's so many Pokemon to catch from the original 151, as well as the fact that, well, it's just a hard game, and is really actually designed around saving and continuing your game later on. But the Nintendo Switch would give this game a new burst of life, and I'd be interested to see what the HD Rumble actually looks like, considering there's actually a little Rumble pack on this. It's a little hard to read probably, but yeah, there's a little Rumble pack. It takes a AAA battery, and I totally forgot how it felt when, Pikachu goes and shoots the ball off. It will be really fun to see what the HD Rumble can do with that, and ultimately, it's just a great game that I hope we get to see on the service if they do add those Game Boy and Game Boy Color games. Last but not least here, I want to talk about a game that I am awful at still. And I mean awful at as in I couldn't do anything. And that's going to be Legend of the River King. So this is kind of a weird JRPG / Harvest Moon / fishing game / Monster Rancher raise your fish in an aquarium game that I picked up a long time ago when I was a kid and just really kind of enjoyed playing here and there, especially in the car when you're passing by those lights and you just have a few moments where you're going to be playing the Game Boy Color. And so for you kids out there that maybe aren't familiar with this, these systems don't have a backlight. So basically what you're looking at is every couple of lights that were actually on, because all of them weren't on back in the day, while you're in the backseat of a car, you got to play the game. You needed to do this. Get to play. Get to play. Get to play. Get to play. Yeah, it's a great game for that because it's a lot of kind of sitting around, and I don't personally have patience for it nowadays, but the Stardew Valley I don't even know what crowd it would really be anymore than Stardew Valley, but that kind of crowd would dig into this game, I feel, and it's kind of unique. It's the only game I know where you get to punch a monkey. I don't know what that has to do with fishing or being the Legend of the River King, but yeah, it's still pretty cool, and apparently there's a sequel out there. I was, like I said, never any good at it though. It just kind of eluded me. My cousin always did a lot better, and he actually got a lot further than me in the game, although he didn't own it. So, yeah, kudos to him. So those are 3 games from my collection for the Game Boy and Game Boy Color that I think would be awesome additions to the Nintendo Switch online service if Nintendo finally adds Game Boy and Game Boy Color games to the system. Ultimately, I feel like this should have been done back when the Nintendo Switch Lite was released because, yeah, that just felt like a natural point in time to do this. However, who am I to tell Nintendo what to do? Clearly they do something that works, and even though it kind of angers some of us sometimes, it hasn't stopped any of us from being fans, so more power to them. And in terms of yourself, is there any Game Boy or Game Boy Color games that you would love added into the collection? And I know everyone wants Game Boy Advance games. Trust me, I want them more than anyone else, considering I never owned the platform. But for this, let's just keep it restricted to the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games, because if they're gonna, Game Boy and Game Boy Color games. If they're gonna add the Game Boy Advance, that means they're definitely gonna add the GameCube, right?